everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Professionally Childish. I am honored to have with me Miss Demetrius Dixon. Um, her her business name is Demi Dixon. She is an Atlanta-based professional celebrity hair designer and department head for the film and television production industry. Demetrius is also an educator, a speaker, a business coach, and a mentor. Demetrius built her brand with purpose and passion to inspire, impact, and educate other women in business, especially those who are navigating through a transition. Demetrius also had a master class, and it's called From the Salon to Behind the Scenes, and it is an educational program for professional hairstylists, barbers, and makeup artists for those who aspire to take their beauty profession beyond the salon chair. She is a wife, a mother, a teacher, a stylist, a sister to many, and one of the most positive people that I know.
Oh,
I am honored to have you here with me today, and thank you for gracing me with your presence, Demetrius. Like this one, sounds like roll out the red carpet.
thank you so much. I feel honored. Shoot, I know I've been knowing you a long time, so
A long, long time.
that honor. When people still think that much of you after I've been gone for a while, so but
Yeah, look,
here,
I'm excited too. You're here Thursday doing hair. I was like, how can I look? How can I get out of work on Thursday?
'cause, still there, and now she's not as mobile to come up and get her hair done to Atlanta, so I go there so that I could still do her hair. So I just opened it up to people that I know. Sometimes my clients that even travel to Atlanta to see me, so it's something fun for me to do while I'm at home.
Well, we appreciate it. You
Yeah.
know, we get excited every time we see it posted. I was like, yes, she's here. Um, well, before we start with your interview, can you tell us a little bit about yourself that I didn't share in the bio?
Okay, so for all those who don't know me, my name is Demetrius, but I go by Demi Dixon, and I kind of like took Demi and made it a brand. Demetrius is my name that if you've known me all my life, you probably will call me Demetrius, or if you just met me in a more professional setting, you'll probably call me Demetrius. But Demi is my brand. Demi Dixon is my brand, and I'm a 25 plus year veteran in the beauty industry. um, Actually, this year was 27 years. So I've been doing hair for 27 years professionally. And I still love it just like I just started yesterday. Not, I don't practice it every day, but I still love the beauty industry and being a hairstylist and um, all the aspects of beauty. So that's something that I'm just passionate about, the beauty industry and business and entrepreneurship. And more than anything, family. I came from a very, very large family. So, and I was the youngest of six until my adopted sister came along. So we had a pretty big family. And then I created my own big family. And from there, just trying to create legacies with my children and, you know, um, my hometown is Columbus, Georgia. I'm a Columbus native. That's where I graduated high school. That's where I started my businesses at. And that's where my core is. Like my roots are still there. My family is there. My parents are there. And I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been blessed and fortunate to travel the world doing what I do as a hairstylist, mostly for the film and television production industry and the entertainment industry. But yes, you said everything. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister and a friend. You pretty much covered everything, I think. Anything else, I'll pretty much be an open book if, I'll be transparent.
Good deal. Like, I know you will be.
Hmm.
I think and this is a sidebar, but I think some of the most interesting conversations and life lessons were learned in your salon.
Hmm.
I said we've known each other for years, and it's like I look back and I'm like, man, I remember being 22, 23 years old, sitting in the salon and talking, and really getting life lessons, and but we were pregnant and had kids and
Mhm.
all of that, Maggie got married, all
I
of that went on while we
like
were.
always been like way older than my years. So I was always like the wise old lady, and I was like 25 years old.
Right?
That wasn't that much older than other people, but people just I was the old lady.
Always. No, I had, like, of course, I have a visitor, right?
Yeah, you got kids, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Go get it. So,
If
going back to our
you got skills, you'll be okay.
like, I know, right? She's over here begging for my phone. So back to our interview. A major part of your success is due to your work ethic and your ability to rebrand. Where did you learn those qualities?
A major part of my success is due to my work ethic is because I watched my mom work hard and my dad work hard. So that was instilled in me. That was like that's all I saw my parents be two hardworking middle class people. So that was kind of like what was instilled in me. Um and branding, I never even knew that I was branding until this new branding stuff came. I was like, hey, I knew what it took to build a clientele. I knew what it took to build my business, but I didn't realize that was a thing that was needed in business until later in my years. So all that branding and all that stuff that I was doing, it was because I needed people to know who I was.
Right, but you did an amazing job though,
I did,
because
I did
honestly, like
it, and
when
something that I didn't I learned a lot of things that I knew along the way. It wasn't something that someone taught me or told me. It was something that, okay, I did trial and error. I'm an entrepreneur, so nobody is not going to pay for this for me or give me this. I have to do it myself.
well, you did a good job, because even now, like, we'll get on social media, and somebody be like, "Hey, you remember when we said perfect hair design?" There be like 50 other people joining in and have a
Yeah.
conversation with you,
Yeah.
and so it's
You
like
know,
word of mouth is really big.
I started I'm a people person to me, I like people. So I'll start up a conversation with people pretty much anywhere. And I think that's just the core of any brand, putting yourself out there to people because without the people we don't have a brand.
That's true. Um, so like you said before, you've been in the beauty industry for over 25 years. So you're 27 now. How do you like the new trends and styles?
I love them. I don't mind change in the business. That's what our profession is designed. We are supposed to create trends and create style. So I love it. I'm not mad at any of it. And reason why I say that is because I still count myself as a relevant artists out here, and I have to be just as creative. So everything that you see on TV, all those are designs and creations that I have to be included in. So I mean, everything ain't for it's not for everybody, but I think that something is for everybody. So I'm okay with how things move. I always been a trendsetter. I always rode the waves of the trend. That's always been something that I thought was important as a beauty industry professional. It's a whole total look, not just I'm a hairstylist, but I knew I did makeup, I did fashion, I did a lot of things. So watching the trends change and go back and forth, that's my thing. I like it.
So do you miss any of the old practices and traditions and stuff?
Like what?
Like, okay, so I can say for myself, watching the trends change, and like how we're kind of going back old school, like you've seen like people wearing finger waves now, and people going back and like touching back on some
I,
stuff from the 90s.
I think that never goes out of style. It's all about when you choose to use it. Because for me, working in the film and television industry, I still do 60s hairstyles or 40s or even 1800s. So I know the importance of the periods and the times. Some of this stuff now, I don't care for. I don't love. I don't knock it because it's how people like to wear their hair. I call them brow bangs when they're just way too far down. But, to each his own. But at the end of the day, I think that I love eras. I love
Yeah.
time frames and periods. So I might, every now and then I like to rock a 90s hairstyle. Might rock 80s. I might rock 70s, my natural hair. So it just all depends on how I feel.
Like, true. I think I'm liking how like some of the styles from the '90s are coming back. Like I
Hmm.
saw somebody like with the you remember back in the day how we used to wear like the hard curls, like freeze curl kind of thing. I've seen that coming back, and I was like, okay.
Hey, and let me tell you, I did a movie about before the trend came back where it was kind of like on that or even P Valley, like a lot of different shows that we watch on TV, they were incorporating some of the different time eras in it and kind of making it, complete to what we're doing now. So I like the blends. I don't know, I love it all. I really love seeing it.
That's it. Cool. So I love the way that you help other women start their career. I can speak on look some people that I know, but
Mhm.
I love that the way that you help them to start their career in the industry. How important is it to you to build connections with other women?
That's like maybe the I core of my business because I feel like, that's my anointing and my assignment. So as a person might think in their career as a hairstylist or cosmetologist might be, to design the looks. My particular assignment is to help women. So God gave me the skill set that I have to use in order to fulfill that particular assignment. I always knew for years, like some of my job is not because I'm the greatest artist or hairstylist. Most of it is because I have a desire in my heart to help other women because I'm an empathetic person and the things that I've gone through and even survived through, I'm able to inspire and impact other women's lives just based on them seeing, because it's not like I'm just telling people my story, but to know life is to know that everybody have life. So
Hmm.
just how you deal with it. And so for me, I think that I connect with other women just based off of the sheer idea that we all have life as women, and you might not talk about it, but it's gonna happen one way or another. And so, I just use that. Um, I just use it basically to have a purpose.
Yeah. And like I said, I admire you for that. Because like I said, look, I'm gonna drop Magnolia's name in here. But
Yeah.
one thing that I really loved was the fact that when you and Magnolia, when you started your partnership, you made sure to include her and to give her those opportunities to come with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times, you'll have people, they'll make it and then they forget about the people that were there with them. But it was a beautiful thing to see, you basically sharing and saying, hey, I've been put on and I want to bring my people on with me so that we can all have a place at this table.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just, I admire you for that. And we witnessed it.
It was all it started out as work, so we built a really great, strong work relationship. And that's one thing that I learned over my years as an entrepreneur is how to separate work relationships from personal relationships. So, that way we didn't have a confusion. And anybody that I've mentored, many other people that I've done the same thing for, may not be from my town, but we're still someone who, had the same loyalty and drive to be mentored as I was mentoring them. So if you're willing and it's something that is an opportunity open, hey, I think that we all as women should be more free to help the next woman, just because we can relate on so many levels.
That's true.
Yeah,
Very, very true.
I just think that if we do that more, instead of, being envious of what the next person is doing. And I dealt with that too. It hasn't always been inspiring and motivating and encouraging. The obstacles and the bumps in the roads had to come too. So, I've been burnt. I've been All those things have happened during this course. Like, it have not been an easy road. Like, some of your closest people, some of the closest people sometimes, will show you things
Hmm.
that kind of let you reevaluate how you move and help people, but you still don't stop.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And I think as you elevate, that's when you really learn who your people are, kind of thing. Because when you're going to a new level, people really show you who they are and they show you where their loyalties
But
lie.
this is what I've learned. It was me the whole time. People always been who they are. I have blinders on sometimes because I have this everybody gonna get it idea in my mind. But listen, one thing about people these days, it happen fast. I think that we just have to be more in tune with ourselves, and to know what we truly want. Sometimes it's
That's
like,
true.
it ain't that somebody ain't showing you who they are. It's just you not in tune with who you need to be. So
Hmm. That's true. That right there is really true. It's something,
like,
you want to see the good in everybody.
hold on. Who do I need to become so that I can see them before it comes, or I can already be prepared. So that's where the work have to come in, because I don't, for me, success is different for different people. So how you elevate and how I elevate, we might have the same equal happiness in our elevation, but I might have to go about doing mine different because of the end goal that I have versus what you have.
That's true. And speaking of success, for those of us who actually follow you on social media, we have watched your babies grow up, and they are look, they are our children, our little nieces and nephews, and you have your older children. They are business owners, and one thing that I saw that was really cool was with your son. You were like, you all wanted to equip him with the tools so that he would be able to always be, be in a position to provide for himself. And so
Mhm,
you got us some clippers, and you were like, we're gonna teach you how to cut hair.
mhm,
That right there was something I was like, you know what? In the black family, we need to do more of that. We need to equip our children with ways so that they will always be able to provide for themselves no matter what path they take. And
mhm.
so when you were going through that process, what was that like, and what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs?
Well, my children was raised up in the house with me as an entrepreneur. So that's all they knew. They knew they didn't know a balanced schedule most of the times because, they roll with how my schedule rolls. So I think that's a on an individual basis, it has a lot to do with your upbringing, as far as raising children to be entrepreneurs, at a young age. Because to be honest, my 14-year-old is an entrepreneur as well, and he's been an entrepreneur since he was 12. um and my older two kids, they were raised up in the hair salon. So that's all they saw me do was make it happen. And so, I think it's in you. It was in them. And the road that that they chose to take was because I encouraged them to take that path, which was go get an education. Because, you can always practice your skill, because as long as I'm around, I'm gonna make sure that, I incorporate or include that in you, instill that in them. So education is super important for me because I didn't get a 4-year education, and I wanted that for my kids. So, but um Basically, I believe everybody can be an entrepreneur, to be honest. It's all about, you might want to take it to this level or that level, just where you want to take it to. But anything that you know how to do and create for yourself, to me, is entrepreneurship.
Cool. Yeah. I said, I think your baby, what's he doing? He's doing a clothing line, right?
Has a clothing brand, and my son has a barbering company. Well, he barbers now, and he has his own barbering business. And my daughter, of course, she lives in London still. She works in the film
Mm-hmm.
industry as a hairstylist. Also, in addition to her business career as she has a management company that she manages artists
I
like
didn't know that.
yeah, no, most, I never told it, that's her career, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, she has a pretty decent career.
Yeah, no, that's really look, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And I think that having you as a mom too, um, pushed them because you're creative and you were kind of like, okay guys, like I said, I'm gonna give you the tools and have
Yeah.
fun with it. I want you to have something that you're passionate about.
And
And
also have fun. Like, life is just not about working and creating a job. What you do for a job can also be fun. So, I just equip them with things that they might. I'm not gonna be here forever. And I used to tell my kids that at a young age. Like, I'm gonna leave here one day. But one thing that I'm gonna do before I leave here is do the best I can to prepare y'all for the world.
true. Look, I like that.
Hmm.
So you have a book that it helps stylists go from behind the chair to work on movie sets.
Hmm.
How did you prepare yourself for that transition?
Okay, so I created a program called From the Salon to Behind the Scenes, which is also the name of my book. It's called A Guide to Transition from the Salon to Behind the Scenes. How I prepared myself, ooh, I started preparing myself around 17, I think, before I even knew most of the people that know who I am, even as a hairstylist now, because my journey, I always said this is the story that most people who've heard me speak about my journey have heard, and this is how it started. When I went to see the movie Baps, those were already the hairstyles that I was creating in the salon that I was working in at that time. So I was like, hold on, I can do that. So then that's when I knew I'm gonna do hair for movies. I'm gonna do that. So I just put it out there. And then from there, I didn't even understand that I was putting myself in alignment with people who it was always constantly putting me in rooms to the next level. So I created opportunities for myself by having an open mindset, by understanding that Columbus, Georgia was not my end, by knowing that I wanted to see the world and I wanted to do what I loved while I was doing it. And I had children at a young age. So I had to do something that I knew that would sustain my family outside of being in the salon all day. So my book that came about because I knew that the journey that I took to get to behind the scenes, it wasn't easy. So, okay, who am I? I'm a problem solver. I'm a solution based person. I'm going to create a solution to the problem. And the problem is a lot of hairstylists, entrepreneurs, anyone in the beauty industry. The book is not only for hairstylists, the book is for entrepreneurs that want to transition their career from the salon or from the makeup counter or from behind the closet doors of the fashion rooms or any type of setting you want to transition from into behind the scenes. I've had entrepreneurs that have never stepped a foot in a day in a salon did any of that to tell me your book really helped me because it's just a small step by step guide as a business owner going from one phase to another. And it's giving you tools, it's giving you um, set situations that might occur. That's what that book is about.
Like, I need to get that book.
Yeah, I'll make
I,
sure you. It's online on Amazon.
okay.
Um, it's a digital copy as well as a paperback copy. But yeah, I knew my path early on, and I think sometimes a lot of people that's kind of tricky for people because, a lot of times people don't know what their path is. But, I just knew that I wanted to, I knew what I wanted to do. So I kind of, did the roller coaster ride that it took to get there.
Yeah. So, you have been blessed to work on several movies
Hmm.
and television shows and things like that. How is it working with celebrities?
I think all my clients are celebrities. So I think working with people that are on TV or in that limelight, it's exciting because now you get to build a resume that people know the people by. You know what I'm saying? It's an experience that most people coming from where I came from don't ever get the chance to have. So for me, it's a blessing. It has its fun times, but there are some highs and lows and some pros and cons, that come along with it because, just like you watching TV and people outside in the rain, we sitting outside in the rain. Okay, just like watching TV and you're in the desert, we're in the desert. So, those are some of the not so glamorous parts that people don't really know about when you're working behind the scenes. Like I'm not dressed up like this, looking like this at work every day because most of the time, you may be outside or in the sound stage. Um, but it's definitely not the same as working in the salon on a daily basis.
Yeah, I can imagine that it's
Something different
interesting every day.
every day. You don't ever get the same thing every day outside of doing the same hairstyles on the actors pretty much every day. So it's always something new, and you always meeting new people from different places all across the world. So it's like you've traveled the world in one day from all the people that you meet. And for me, it's been a wonderful experience. Like I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Yeah, I saw today where you posted some of your memories from working on Greenleaf, and I was like, oh, I remember that. And it
Yeah.
was like a cool time for us to kind of see the behind the scenes through your lives and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
I think that was a real cool experience.
Yeah, and you know why? Sometimes I have to go and post that kind of stuff because so many new people start following you and they don't really know, what did she do? Or, because, you know, people don't know to go to your business page. So sometimes, I'm just going down memory lane because listen, we've been on a strike out since July. So sometimes you miss work, just the camaraderie. And that was one of my favorite projects. I really enjoyed Greenleaf. I worked with Merle for 4 seasons. It was fantastic, phenomenal. She was amazing to work with. And that was one of my greatest times.
Look, we watched that show like we were on it.
As people love, that's what I love. I love like
Yeah,
I love working on Ruthless and Oval. The things that people love, that's what I love.
that's cool to have that. And then like working at Tyler Perry studio is like it's like some people's dreams, and we sit back and we like, look, she's from Columbus, Georgia,
Yeah.
out there representing.
So yeah, and that's sometimes I'll just drop stuff in there because people will start following me and they'll start going all the way down for like 2 years ago, scrolling through my stuff, and I'm like, you don't have to go that far. Let me just put something in here for you to see now. Because somebody went to a whole post 2 years ago, like, you are really trolling.
All the way down there. But we have to go through and share some stuff. We like, this is who she is.
Yeah, so now I guess I got, at every level, I don't know what prompted these new followers. I kind of do know. I went to the hair show down in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh,
That might be it. That
yeah,
might be it.
hairstylist. I know that, that could be it. But people right now, in the beauty industry, they're looking for that next thing too. They want to know, and then someone will tell them, "Oh, Demi does it," or contact Demi. So people in my DMs like every day almost like, "Hey, and it's I'm grateful because I don't really even have to advertise what I do anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, aside from your many contributions to the beauty industry, because we could talk about that all day long,
Like,
um,
girl, I do something else. I don't just do hair.
right. But you have a passion for empowering girls and young women,
Mm-hmm.
and you have been working on a project, and you've been publicizing it a little bit, and we've been sharing.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me about your Demi Girls project.
Oh, my Demi Girl project. That project. Now that's a heartfelt subject because that was like pushed out of purpose and kind of a little bit of pain, but mostly purpose of my just a whole conglomerate, I guess, of my life. Things I've gone through, things I've healed from, things I've triumphed through, and I had it came to me that I was already helping women and helping girls, and then we had a strike in our industry, and that really pushed my. Um, I developed a nonprofit that I can help young girls and women and men and guys too, but specifically my heart space is for young girls and young women, to teach them mostly about self esteem, mental health issues, business, how to transition from being a young girl to a woman, coping skills with, you know, any life skills that you're going to go through, whether it be sex, drugs, alcohol. I've partaken in a lot of things over the years of, just youth to adulthood. So that's where Demi Girls came from. And Demi Girls is really that it's divine energy manifesting and igniting. And that was a time that I everything just came that was in me just kind of came out. So all that energy just kind of started to manifest, and it ignited into my foundation, which I've created a program for that will be, in a lot of the public schools to help girls in, the schools.
Okay. So, are you going to branch out and bring it here to Columbus, or are you going to keep it Atlanta
I'm
based?
global, honey. If I have people in Columbus who wants to volunteer and be a part of it to help me build it out in Columbus, then absolutely.
Okay, okay. That's something we
Yeah.
can talk
So
about. Look, behind the
it's
scenes.
worldwide. I want demi girls everywhere. So
Yeah,
yes, be in Columbus. I need people like you.
that's what I said. Look, we can talk behind the scenes on this.
Okay.
Um, because I definitely am passionate about our girls,
Yeah.
and catching them early so that they don't have to go through a lot of the things that we went through. You know,
Yes.
I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like it's so much that we can do and pour into young women.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we start at home. I made sure that with my daughters, I started the talks earlier and made sure that we had an open door so that we could
Mm-hmm.
have those discussions that I was afraid to have with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like we can really
That's
kind
what
of
girls
deter
is
some things.
about. It's a safe place. You can talk about things. We'll talk about self care, wellness, self esteem, boys, sex, you name it. But at the end of the day, the objective is to for you to excel, learn a skill set, learn how to sustain yourself, and transition into higher education or trade school, something that is going to take you higher in life.
I like that. Like I said, we'll definitely talk.
Hmm.
Um, but you wear so many hats, and we talked about it before: wife, mom, businesswoman, mentor, everything. How
Hmm.
do you balance it all?
Honestly, honey, I've been trying to figure that out for a long time. How do I balance it? I read something and I'll forget where I read it. I'll remember it down the line, but honestly, I stopped trying to find a balance. I started just finding a rhythm. I started to learn that present in whatever is in front of me. And then I had to learn that sometimes I have to say no to myself, and sometimes I have to say no to others. So I don't know if it's a balance or not. And but it feels like I get the best of both worlds. I get to do what I love as a career, and I get to be as much of a mom and a wife and a friend as I want to be in my private and personal time.
Definitely that. I think I learned that when turning 40 was big
Hmm.
for me because I
Yeah.
learned the art of saying no and it being no with a period
Hmm.
instead of trying to compromise and all that with stuff. It's just
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. I just lost a nice acquaintance because I guess I said no to something and I feel like they wanted me to give an explanation, but I just didn't feel like it. It was just too much more typing on the phone. It was just like,
You know,
and
yeah.
I'm not known to not say no because I mean, I'm very vocal and I speak up for myself at all times. I've always done that. And I think that's my superpower is that I am exactly who I want to be.
Unapologetically.
I want and I'm exactly who I want to be.
I'm trying to get like that. I'm like by at least by 42, I have a few more months.
Hey,
I
listen,
just I'm working on it.
the more you this is my thing take on sometimes in life. When you have been through enough things to push you to that place, the average person don't know what the next person have gone through. So nobody don't know nobody's story for real. So for me and my story, I know what it took for me to get to every level of my um don't give a cares. So if you weren't with me in some of these levels, then yeah, you wouldn't know why. Yeah, why you won't know why I move or do things the way that I do them because you weren't behind the scenes with me when I
Right.
was dealing with some of the things I was dealing with. So
Right. Look, it's like Kobe. You were with him when he was shooting in the gym. Like
no,
you
no,
weren't there.
you wasn't. So listen, well, that's just how how I had to set my mindset up. To know
Yeah.
that don't really have a say so over where my destiny is.
Yes. So you are a household name in the beauty industry, but what do you want to be most remembered for?
I want to be most remembered for um if I can get well, and I probably have already have, mostly for being, an inspiration to the people that I love and that loves me. Not the world is great, but if they notice it, then that's fine. But for the ones that are close to me and the ones that, are really my people, I just want them to know, I love them and I enjoy life as much as possible. So whatever that looks like, that's enjoyment for me. If whatever I feel that is enjoyment of life for me, that's what I'm gonna do.
Um, we're about to wrap this conversation up, but we are wrapping up 2023 as well. So,
Yes.
what are your other ventures and things that you're working on to wrap up the fourth quarter? You got some stuff in the works.
Girl, I'm about to turn over a new leaf of a new age. So I'm working on I became, I rededicated my life back to Christ and I'm working on being a better spiritual leader and I'm working on being a better woman of God. Um and mostly just still doing inner work. So everything else you gotta wait and see. Cause
Well,
see, you already know. Like if you like, I'm like this. You'll know it when it pop out.
when it pop out, and I'll just share it.
So that related to my art or my business, I get down and put my head down and just work, and then it pops
And
out.
then it pops out, and we'll see
Yeah,
that you were working
I
on
don't
a new project or doing stuff.
think about things that I'm about to do or dreamt about doing. Like,
You show up when it happens. It's like, here
yeah,
it is.
that kind of stuff. I do have some things that are really, really, good right now. But the biggest thing that I'm working on is me. That's my big project.
That's cool. Look, so we're gonna move into our fun zone. We're gonna move into the hot seat question. And I
Okay.
tell everybody, guys, she does not know what these questions are.
Oh,
And they are totally fun, I promise. Totally
okay.
fun, nothing too crazy. But it's just to let people know a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Um, and so they are dealing with fashion, music, pop culture, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, Demetrius is vegan. You're vegan, right? Or are you
No.
vegetarian?
Well, I lived a vegetarian lifestyle for about 12 years,
Hold on,
but
you eating meat, Demetrius?
well, I'm not. I don't just eat any old meat. I'm very choosy about the meat that I eat. But yeah, I do currently partake in some meat, but I'm not a meat eater, so I can literally go days without meat anyway.
Like, cause I wanted you to share your favorite vegan snack because
Well,
y'all she always posting
eat,
some anime and
I do have still I still have a lot of vegetarian dishes that I make for my family because we were all vegetarian. My daughter is still vegetarian. Um, but some of the things that I still, will do that don't require no meat is I will get in there and make a veggie fajita so fast and everybody eats it like nobody's business. So I can use some mushrooms and peppers and make a lot of different dishes.
okay. So do you do like the you know how the quote unquote and guys that are vegan and vegetarian? I'm not talking about you bad, but the quote unquote fake meat kind of substitute,
Well, I
or do
mean,
you do more vegetables?
but I don't anymore because I don't have a need. But I did used to. I used to eat all the Beyond Meat, and I've done it all.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um. So if you had to choose between a fashion era, what would you choose?
Between a what?
Fashion era like the 70s and
Oh,
like the
totally.
disco fashion, or what would you choose?
No, I would always choose the '90s over every era.
Okay.
I love the '90s.
What did you like most about the 90s?
I like the fact that the '90s had like a swag that was real cute and fun. Everything wasn't always like skin tight. Everything you could wear baggy clothes and still be feminine. You know, you could wear you could actually wear heels or an outfit that didn't have to look like a workout outfit.
Yes.
So I like putting on clothes. So the '90s was that time, and in the '80s I was a little girl, so I don't remember what I looked like as far as like the style and the fashion.
Yeah.
um I love '70s when it's a theme, but I wouldn't walk around with all them clothes on right now.
She's like, yo, I'm in the 70s.
It's
But
hot.
I agree. Now I agree. The 90s, I loved growing up in the 90s. That
Yeah.
I loved it. I talk about the 90s all the time.
Yeah.
Like loved it. Um, and so for our final question,
All right.
you ready?
Yeah.
If you could pick any song
Hmm.
that would describe who you are today, what song would it be?
Any song
Mhm.
that could describe who I am right now today.
What would it be? Look, y'all, I'm making her think hard.
Because who I am today is such a different person than anybody probably is familiar with right now. Um, So the person who I am today, I would say, and I don't want to be all churchy and cliche and spiritual, but
No, do it.
it is really what it would say. It's the God in me.
Yes.
It really is like I don't know what it is that I got. It's just the God in me. It's
Look,
a
that's a good
oh
answer.
hey, or there's another song by Ella May called Sauce.
Look, that too.
So that's just where who I am now versus maybe who I was a year ago or even 6 months ago. Like I don't even. Sometimes I'd be like, "Ooh, that's you." Like my reaction to things is not the same. My thought process is not even the same. So
Very, very true. I said you are ever changing, ever changing.
think that we if we're gonna grow, we got to like if you have to really know your flaws in order to.
Hmm. That's true, and that's something that I advocate therapy, and I talk about
Yeah.
it all the time. But one thing that I have learned in therapy is that if you do not recognize your flaws and you're honest about who you are, you're never gonna grow
Mm-mm.
ever. And so you got to be honest with it and be honest with yourself about your mess. You might not, you don't have to broadcast it to the world, but look in the mirror and be honest with yourself on what you need to do, to work on
And
yourself.
I literally have been in therapy since I was about 25 years old, and it wasn't cool back then. I
Right.
recall someone telling me, "Did you take your meds today?" Because there was a shot because they knew that I was on meds. So it's not a secret now that, people have to have therapy and they have to take medication for their anxiety and
Hmm.
that. But 20 years ago, I was getting laughed at for having, but I advocate for therapy. I advocate for coaching or counseling or whoever you need to talk to get it out so
Hmm.
you don't implode.
Exactly.
So sometimes that might not even be a therapist. It might just be a family friend that can understand. You know what I'm saying? I remember
Hmm.
I was in therapy during the pandemic and I had two good friends that were going through really, really hard times in their life. And I was at the point where, you know, I'll take my therapy because, the insurance pay for it. But at some point, we're gonna move on and that childhood trauma gonna die. But at that time, they needed that information more than
Hmm.
so. I pretty much, invited them along to my therapy session so that they could reap the benefits of, something that they could
Hmm.
have access to during that time. So, I guess I feel like I was a therapist most times, but I'm not nobody's therapist, honey. I got some wise information I probably need to be taking myself. But at the end of the day, I'm thankful for the growth, things I've gone through that I can't help other women.
Well, we appreciate you. I said we said your share had therapy up in that
I,
salon.
I was like, what was I thinking about? I've been doing all this for all these years.
Yeah, we had a good time. But I thank you for sitting down with me and doing
Thank
this
you.
episode. Look, it's been amazing. Like I said, I love you and I appreciate you so
Well,
much.
thank you. And
Um,
and come see me anytime when I'm in Columbus on a Thursday, or
look, I will.
you can text me. And I definitely want to get with you about helping out with the Demi Girl project.
Yes,
I would definitely love to do put my program down there. Um,
yes,
but trying to be a mom, I have a high schooler now, so I'm not there every day. So you have to take team.
yes, it does.
Mm.
Do you want to leave us with anything before we wrap?
Basically, just keep putting out good. Keep doing good.
Look, y'all hear her now. She's speaking it. She's speaking
That's
some words.
good. See, we already blessed. We don't have to do anything for our blessings, but if we do good, then we are honored and rewarded for the good things that we do.
I said she's speaking it, y'all. But and on that, we are going to wrap. So I thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode. Y'all be blessed and have an amazing day. And we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.